And he's got a brand new car for the Oval at Michigan next week. That's Dick Trickle. Here's Jerry Punch.
All right, Dorsey making his 6th start here at Watkins Glen today. And the neat thing about Dorsey is, yeah, he's a road racer, but 4 of the 5 previous Winston Cup cars he's driven here, he's been able to make his way to the front and lead, including last year when he drove Bill Elliott's car. He led this race, led a number of laps, ran in the top 5, had a throttle stick late in the race, and finished 13th. And Dorsey said after today, they're going to start turning their attention to the Craftsman Truck Series, that maybe he and Tom Gloy will run full-time down south in 1998.
How about that? There's some damage on the 21 car, Michael Waltrip.
That looks like a curb, doesn't it? Looks like he got on the curb too much.
Yes, it does.
Banged up that fender.
Yep. He'll need to come in and get that worked on. That's too close for comfort. And the pits will be open, I'm sure, when they come around the next time.
Michael's running back in 17th position.
Right in front of Dorsey Schrader, that we're just talking about. He's running in 18th.
We had 2 early caution periods here now.
And normally you would see the leaders going in at this stage of the race and putting some tires on. But they're only going to stop twice. If they stop now and have to stop twice again, they're not going to do it. They're going to wait until they can make it on 2 stops. Wouldn't you think, Dan?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they want to do. Jeff Bud, of course, won the race last year by staying out there and stopping on lap 30 and on lap 60. But now, Vinny, we're coming up pretty close to lap 20. 20 off the 90 is 70. That means they'd have to run 35 laps on the other. So I don't know.
Some of them might do it.
Some of them might be able to do that.
All right. Down to Jerry Punch.
Hey, you know, I was thinking about that this morning in the garage when we walked out. We rode out here together and talked about the fuel mileage. I talked to a number of people in the garage, and no one I talked to, based on their calculations of how much gear they were using and how much fuel they were using, could run more than 34 laps. In fact, a number of teams, it was very, very close just to make it to lap 30. That's the magic number. It's a 90-lap race. They wanted to go to lap 30 and then pit again on lap 60. As Mark Martin now has opted to come down pit road in the Valvoline Ford. Martin, who three-peated here, has won 3 of the last 4 at Watkins Glen, will now bring his car down pit road. And a lot of other guys deciding to stay out, including Bill Elliott, Earnhardt, etc., up toward the front. But now Jimmy Finnig, Steve Mill, and the crew getting set to work on Mark Martin's Valvoline Ford. They go to the left side of the car, I should say, here. And we'll jack it up, top it off in fuel. They'll clean the windshield. And most importantly, they are going to make a chassis adjustment on the car number 6. About a round and a half out of the left rear. Now they come to the inside, which here on the road course is the right side of the car. They will put the right side tires on. Of course, Mark Martin currently second in the Winston Cup point standings. And right behind him, with nothing to lose, Robbie Gordon on pit road. He had that stop-and-go penalty, and he will stay here and pit with the Coors Light Chevrolet. They will change the outside tires. Now Mike Hillman and the crew come around to the inside of the car. Gordon would desperately love to win here. He knows he's been a veteran road racer. His lineage growing up in... Now the spotter's telling them that they can go. They're down and away. Let's go to Bill Wells.
And Brett Bodine on pit road. Not a happy homecoming for him. Qualified 12th. Broke something in the front end. They think it's the sway bar. They're underneath the front of his close call Thunderbird, working on that. Meanwhile, Ward Burton has gone to the garage. The engine locked up. Same thing as Friday's practice. Blown engine. Day over for the 22. The 11 sits here on pit road under caution at the Glen.
So work continues on that car while everybody else has made it, or most everybody else made it back onto the racetrack awaiting the green flag. And we'll be back for that in just a minute. Jerry Punch has more on the pit stop that Mark Martin just made.
Well, guys, this Roush team just made a liar out of me. I talked to a lot of folks in the garage area this morning, and no one could go more than 34 laps. Steve Milson, we just calculated it again. We can go 37 laps. We're only going to stop once more. That'll be on lap 54.
The contact between Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt down in the corner.
Whoa, and Earnhardt's loose coming off the corner.
And Jeff Gordon is all over the back of him trying to get by these Steve Park. 14 car, if you're unfamiliar with it, that's Steve Park, his very first NASCAR Winston Cup race. And look at front row Joe for the lead.
How about that? And he gets it into the inner loop. Joe Nemechek has gone to the front.
I'll tell you what, this is Joe Nemechek and Tony Glover's like peanut butter and jelly in it, then.
Boy, did he get wide coming off that turn. Yeah, they're jelly right together, Benny.
I'd have to mention something that has to do with food. Nemechek has a 3 or 4 car length advantage over Bill Elliott and the others. Riding with Rusty Wallace.
Ricky Ludd, I'm told, is coming back on the racetrack. There he is with his transmission change.
They've got to get out there and get points because Rudd is in the top 10. He's 8th in the point standings going in. And here are Gordon and Earnhardt side by side again at turn 1. And Earnhardt again loose coming off.
Wow. And Jeff Bodine, I don't know if he was trying to dodge or he got hit from the back or what.
I think he was trying to dodge what he thought was going to happen there.
Looks like Earnhardt's car is just slowly going away, Ned.
It's not quite as strong as it was early in the early laps. And Gordon, he was good yesterday in practice. And I had a feeling he was going to come towards the front.
And Serlin Marlin dives to the inside trying to get by Bodine. Can't quite make it. Bill Weber.
Hutch Strickland has just pulled on the pit road and turned off the engine to the Circuit City 4. They believe they had an oil line come off. So more disappointment for these guys after they missed Indy last week.
Wow.
There is. What's going on?
Joe Nemechek was the 2nd fastest in happy hour last evening behind Robbie Gordon. So this placement of him at the front of the field is no real surprise. That car has worked well all weekend.
He's pulling away.
Yep. Jeff Bodine down to the inside of Earnhardt. This is what happened in the first turn last lap as we had some movement between Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt, and then Jeff Bodine coming off the corner.
Well, we see Jeff Gordon, the 24 car, on the inside of Earnhardt, the 3. And all of a sudden, Earnhardt goes up, gets on the ribble tips, and gets loose and almost turned it sideways, Ned. And Jeff, you're right, Jeff Bodine was dodging the wreck, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. And he got loose, got sideways, too. Both of them got him straightened out. Being the great race drivers they are.
Jeff Gordon started 11th and now 19 laps into the race. He's moved to 5th, and he's right on the rear wing, the rear spoiler of Wally Dallenbach as they go down the back stretch, or the area between turns 9 and 10. Here's Gordon now going by Wally Dallenbach.
Boy, he has a fast race car.
Jeff Gordon finished 2nd at Sears Point in the only other road race held this year in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. Here comes Jeff to the inside of Dale. Got it.
Yeah, Ben, it's unusual. Usually Dale Earnhardt will go into those turns as deep as anybody, but his car is just not allowing him to drive it in as deep as he wants to.
It looks like that's where he is struggling right now, is getting in the corners, especially down in turn 1.
Earnhardt led the most laps here last year, 54 from the pole position. On board with Rusty Wallace now. He's 9th.
Rusty started 13th.
Park is hanging right in there, isn't he?
He sure is. I'm really impressed with Steve Park and the job he's doing here.
Well, he's driven on this track before.
And yes, he's driven the modifieds here, the trucks here, and Bush North cars here, but never in the Winston Cup car. Jerry Punch?
Word is that during the caution flag that Dale Earnhardt's crew could talk to Steve Park's crew and basically give Steve some advice about what to do on the racetrack. And the last thing they told him that I understood was they told Steve, follow Rusty Wallace. You'll learn a whole lot about road course racing behind that number 2 car.
Well, that's exactly what he's doing.
Good advice, too.
Yeah. He's got Ernie Irvin and Terry Labonte breathing down his neck, though.
He's got a lot of good road racers right around him.
Yep. There went Mark Martin, who's trying to come up through the field now after that pit stop. He is up to 26th.